It's Tuesday and we're back from our long Monday slumber after our late night from Halloween. And we wake up to find that Elon Musk is being challenged by the United Nations and he has a smart response to it. We'd like to talk to you about Coca-Cola and whether or not they're taking their eye off the ball. And we'd also like to talk to you about Burger King and how, I think they're taking their eye off the ball. So, get yourself in your seat, buckle up, keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle. This is the Soule of Wisdom. It's Tuesday. We're excited. Here we go. Greetings and welcome. It is Tuesday here at the Soule of Wisdom. Here with me, as always, my pugnacious, persistent princess, Bethy.
Funny.
It is funny, and it's accurate.
Some days.
Yes. For those dear listeners who do not know what pugnacious means, it basically means ready to fight. And if anybody knows Bethy, they know that she's ready to fight at all times. It's aggressive. Yeah, see, like that. Only dialed up slightly. She's dumbing it down for the interwebs here. Okie dokie. So it's Tuesday. It's the Soule of Wisdom. You can find us online at soulewisdom.com. That is S-O-U-L-E wisdom.com. You can email us today, questions at soulewisdom.com. You can tweet us at soulewisdom. And as of today, we even have a Facebook page.
Ooh, yes. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, search up Soule of Wisdom. You'll find it. It's there. At Soule Wisdom, just like everything else.
Cool.
Yeah, there's one whole post.
Neat.
We're working on it. I just started that one, so.
Cool.
Got to work with me there. All right, so it's nice to be back with you with current events. We were off yesterday, did a best of show that statistically seems to be tracking better than our other shows. I'm not sure what that says about us. Apparently we need to post everything twice for it to take.
Maybe.
I don't know, whatever. But so on Friday we had my birthday and I got all sorts of Legos and I got a Funko that I'll debut here in a little while in, I think, segment 2. And what else did we do? We went out to eat.
Dinner, yeah.
Yep. And I had a sea bass. And Bethy had a fillet that I ate half of, I think, because she kept throwing it on my plate.
Because I needed to eat it.
Eat more. So that was fun. And then on a Sunday...
Don't forget I made you the lemon cream cheese bars, too.
Oh, and she made me lemon cream cheese bars. It was the one thing I asked for. It's like, make me these.
Yes, and they
did.
They're
good. And they were good. She did a good job. And then we had Halloween, where we watched Jaws and Poltergeist with our son. And we ate ridiculously expensive seafood.
Yes.
Easily the most we've spent on a meal this entire year.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. It was good.
It was very good.
Yeah, so it was all right. And then we just took Monday off to try to recover.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot for a weekend.
It was. It was busy.
I know. So, anywho, what do we want to talk about today? A lot of things.
I think you wanted to talk about Elon.
I do want to talk about Elon. Do you want to talk about Elon?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know about Elon, dear listeners? He got challenged over the weekend, and he had an interesting response to it. So I think we'll start with the challenge, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this up on Mr. Browser. If you are visually gifted, feel free to play along. If you are not visually gifted, then listen along. This from CNN. So how this all started was CNN had this dude on from the United Nations. And his name is David Beasley, and he is the director of the United Nations World Food Program, or because they spell it in the Old World English, program with an M-E at the end. Programmy, yes. So the United Nations World Food Programmy. That's fancier that way, right?
It is.
Neat. Okay, so he said, and I'm reading from CNN on this, he said, oh, by the way, the article is titled, 2% of Elon Musk's wealth could help solve world hunger, says director of UN Food Scarcity Organization. They revised this. Originally, what CNN said was 2% of Elon Musk's wealth will solve world hunger, not could help.
Yeah.
So they've already backtracked. But anyways,
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, there is. And we're going to get to that in just a second.
Yeah.
So, billionaires need to step up now on a one-time basis, said David Beasley in an interview on CNN's Connect the World, citing specifically the world's two richest men, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. $6 billion to help 42 million people that are literally going to die if we don't reach them. It's not complicated, he said. And then it goes on to say how Musk has a net worth of like $289 billion. Worth is different from money in the bank, though.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that means he owns stocks. So it's not all realized.
It also means he owns property.
Yes. Doesn't mean it's realized. There is a difference. Let's see. It says a perfect storm of several crises such as climate change and COVID-19 pandemic mean many nations are knocking on famine's door. That's one of my favorite songs. Knock, knock, knocking on famine's door.
Careful, you'll get a copyright strike.
No, I changed the one. We'll be safe, maybe. Whatever. So it says half the population of Afghanistan, 22.8 million people, face an acute hunger crisis, according to a WFP report released Monday. Rampant unemployment and liquidity crisis mean the country is teetering on the edge of a humanitarian crisis, and 3.2 million children under the age of 5 are at risk. Well, geez, I wonder how Afghanistan's suddenly now a problem. Huh.
Right.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, nobody was expecting that.
No, it's like the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expects it. Whatever. I'm a little fiery today.
I can tell.
Yay!
Maybe you should have worn a red shirt.
No, that's the green means go. It means go with my fiery.
Okay.
It's all good. All right, and then there's a new series of reports from the Biden admin issuing stark climate change warnings. I read that. I actually have it pulled up in a separate tab. I'm not going to go there, but basically it's all speculation.
Yeah.
No hard facts. No. That's okay. They talk about all sorts of other climate stuff. And then humanitarian organizations like the WFP have struggled to get supplies to those in need in the region, compounding the crisis. The region that they're talking about there was the Tigray region in Ethiopia.
Okay.
Okay. I'm skipping over that because it's too long. But they're talking about trying to get food there. And then Beasley said, I don't know where they're getting the food from. We're out of fuel, we're out of cash, and in terms of paying our people, we are running out of money, and we can't get our trucks in. And then they issue their correction on the article. So you've got this UN dude who is whining and complaining about how they need more money because they can't pay their people to bring people food. So there's some overhead here.
Yeah.
And if only Elon Musk would give over $6 billion or so, they could fix that. Now, just for quick math before we move on to Elon's response, which is precious. So we pull up Mr. Calculator here. So a million has 6 zeros, so a billion has 9.
Yes.
So we take the 6 billion and we divide it by 42 million. That's 6 zeros. That's $142 a person. $142 a person is going to fix world hunger.
For a couple of days.
For a couple of days, yeah. But that, dear listeners, isn't including the overhead here. So, you know,
they'll probably get like 42 cents. Because
we know how government works, let's take this $142 and let's take out 99%. And yeah, $1.42 will most likely be what actually makes it to the people in need. Yeah, Reagan did this thing in a speech back in the 60s called A Time for Choosing. And he said in that speech that I'm not have accurate numbers here, so bear with me. This is from memory. But he said something like $4,200 a year was being spent per person on like aid to the poor. But it was only like $400 and some a year that actually made it to that person. So he even said it would seem that there must be some overhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Kind of the same thing here, I'm betting. Let's go back to Mr. Browser and go to the next article where Elon gives his response. This from the New York Post. Elon responds to UN claim that $6 billion would help solve world hunger. Elon Musk, world's wealthiest man, has fired back the United Nations claim that a one-time donation of $6 billion would help solve world hunger. $6 billion to help 42 billion people that are literally going to die. I already read that. Where is Elon's response? They buried it. Okay, here it is. Elon said, if WFP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it, he responded on Monday. But it must be open source accounting so the public sees precisely how the money is spent. Beasley responded saying, headline not accurate. And then he said, $6 billion will not solve world hunger, but it will prevent geopolitical instability, mass migration, and save 42 million people on the brink of starvation. An unprecedented crisis and a perfect storm due to COVID, conflict, climate crises. I can assure you that we have accurate systems in place for transparency and open source accounting. Your team can review and work with us to be totally confident of such. Okay. So I'm not thinking that was actually a much of a response from that dude.
No.
Because, Elon kind of called him out.
Yeah.
So the one thing when you have a multi-billionaire who also has Asperger's is he's probably not going to be afraid to speak his mind and just kind of go at people.
Yeah.
And he called him right out. Yeah, I'll do it, but account for every dollar. And, he didn't say, yeah, let's do it. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, no, that's not what I'm saying. And yeah, we've got some stuff. And yeah, we'd work with you. But at no place did he say, okay.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to me. But isn't that kind of how governments work? They take these big ideas and these thoughts and they throw them out there with absolutely no thought, no backing, but it's a great soundbite.
Oh yeah, him throwing around Elon's name was great because he got his moment in fame just by saying, well, if only greedy little Elon would donate 2%, only 2%, it would fix everything. And Elon's like, all right. And dude's like, wait, that really won't fix everything.
It'll kind of help.
It'll kind of help. And Elon's like, well, how much overhead's there going to be? How much money is actually going to go to the people? Well, we have statements from previous things we've done. You can just look at those. What?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's interesting. There's always this argument, always lately. That's not the way to phrase it, but this argument in the modern era that government can fix things and the private sector is evil, right? But here's the thing, at least with the publicly traded companies, the ones that have stock owners, on the private side, the private sector, they have to be completely transparent with their dollars.
Yes.
They have to say where stuff is going. They have to put out earnings statements. Everything's got to be accounted for because they have stockholders that they have to answer to. Where on the public side, that's the government, dear listener, the public sector, they just throw out these huge ideas and say, this will fix this. But there's never any proof. There's never any real accounting. There's never a real plan.
And there's never follow-up later on either.
No, you take like Biden's 10-year quote-unquote infrastructure plan that he's trying to work on right now, where the dollar amount keeps changing as they try to ram it through. And he's like, well, we're going to spend whatever the number is today. Let's say it's $2.5 trillion. I don't even know because I haven't looked today. But let's say, okay, it's $2.5 trillion. This is what we're going to go spend, right? And we're going to spend it over 10 years. Well, first of all, how does he know that?
Yeah.
He isn't going to be our president in 10 years. He's probably not going to be at 2 at the rate he's going. You've got different sessions of Congress in between then, none of which are bound by any agreements that are put in place by the previous Congresses.
Yep.
So they can take whatever spending plan there might be and just throw it away.
Yep.
You cannot account for inflation, the cost of goods, anything else at any given point. So you can't say this is a hard and fast number. And the plans that they come up with, especially on this infrastructure thing, if you've read through it, and I've read through parts of it, it's like guidelines and bold statements of, we're going to spend this much money on this. And this is the actual bill. I've looked at it. I read probably about 50 pages of the 1600 or whatever. So we're going to spend $50 billion on this. But it doesn't say, here's how that's spent. We're going to do this much to this much to this much to this. It's like a broad statement, and then you just got to go do it. So there's no accountability, there's no efficiency, there's no anything. It's taking a bunch of money and throwing it at something.
And was it 1,600 pages at one point? They must have upped it, because the most recent one I saw was like 2,200 or 2,300.
Oh, well, then you might have even seen a more recent version than I have.
It keeps growing.
The one I read came out just before he went overseas.
Oh, okay.
Which was, what, Friday?
Yeah.
Mine might be the more recent one, then.
Okay.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
No, it's still too much.
Whether it's 1,600 pages of BS or 2,200 pages of BS, it's still BS.
Yes.
And I'm confident in saying that, again, because there's nothing concrete about any of it. So I get why a private sector guy like Elon's going, okay, I'll play, but let's play for real. And then the public sector dude's like, oh, I can't do real.
Yeah.
Shocker. So I bring all this up today, number one, because Elon's funny.
Yeah.
He's a hoot. I've never seen anybody either who can affect markets like that dude does. He has made us and cost us thousands of dollars all in the same day just by his tweets on crypto.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But he's interesting to me because he's actually got the money to like go and make change and do stuff. But he's not afraid to call balls and strikes. And he's like, okay, prove it.
Yep.
Make it worth my while. And of course they can't.
No.
So it's interesting. So good on him. But it proves, though, what I was saying. Everybody wants to kind of trust the government that they'll be able to do the best things with our money. They'll fix things. They'll be able to this. They'll be able to do that. No, they won't. Nowhere near what the private sector could do. If Elon wanted to, he could take his $6 billion, and maybe he should do this. Elon, you're not listening to us.
No.
But should you happen to be listening to us, take your $6 billion, go hire your own team, and go solve it. Because you'll solve it better.
Change, yeah.
You'll solve it better for less money.
Yep.
Because government is nothing but bloat, and when it comes down to having a concrete plan, they can't give it to you.
Nope.
So, yeah. So, what you should do, dear listeners, you should take this episode and you should tweet it out. And then you should have all of your friends retweet it. Because I'm calling on Elon right now. Call their bluff, go take your $6 billion, and go fix it yourself.
Yep.
So let's get that word out there and see if that actually happens. Because that would just be epic to watch. And then he can go, ha ha.
Yeah.
And he'll do a better job. Just a thought. You like that idea, Producer-Wife?
I like that idea.
Well, let's make that happen.
All
Tweet
right.
out the episode. You are thus commanded. And then make all your friends retweet it. That's not too much to ask.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't
Not to save 42 million people who are on the brink of starvation, who will literally die because they don't have the billionaires' money.
Yeah.
So let's help them.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, I think we should take a bit of a break,
Okay.
retool ourselves for the next discussion. Yeah?
Yeah.
And maybe eat something, because that's what we do here. We eat.
We do.
All right. We'll be right back.
Survival of the fittest, you could sink or swim. I've been broke, I ain't never going back again. I need some C notes, some cheddar, and a stack of ends. I need a bowl of dough, I don't need no Facebook friends. I need a pack of them snaps, a handful of Fetty Wops, and rubber band on my greenbacks. Look, dawg, don't be playing with my paper. I need every red cent, that's why I brought my little scraper. You don't know me, homie, I rob my own neighbor with a clock around
Welcome
my
back
neck
to
with
segment
style.
2 now of the Soule of Wisdom on this fine Tuesday. We hope you enjoyed your little musical interlude. We try to find only the best here that money really can't afford, so we pay for a subscription service. But some of these artists are really good. I've actually started listening to some of this music that we've been downloading, and it's like in my playlist now
Nice.
because some of it's better stuff.
Cool.
So support small artists.
Yeah.
Support small businesses. We've talked about that too. Visit us online, soulofwisdom.com. You'll find links to all of our businesses there. Please consider supporting us. You'll also find a tip jar for the show. All of that.
Yeah.
Producer wife, did you enjoy your food interlude?
I did.
What did you have?
I had a peanut butter cup, and now I'm all like, let me.
Didn't we establish like 3 shows ago that you can't eat peanut butter cups in the studio?
I know, I forgot.
Now you're like, isn't it like horses or something that if you give them peanut butter,
butter.
they just, something like that. I don't know. So anyways, while she was eating her peanut butter cup, producer wife went and got Reagan's speech because I couldn't remember the exact thing. But I cited that in our last discussion here. Reagan said in his speech, A Time for Choosing, we're spending $45 billion on welfare. This was back in '64. Okay. Now you do a little arithmetic, and you'll find that if we divide the $45 billion up equally among the 9 million poor families, we'd be able to give every family $4,600 a year. Now, just for a bit of framing here, you were considered in poverty at that time if your family earned less than $3,000 a year. So money's changed in those 50 years or 60 years almost now. Almost 60 years. Oh, we're getting older. Anyways, so he says, we'd be able to give each family $4,600 a year. And this added to their present income should eliminate poverty. Direct aid to the poor, however, is only running about $600 per family. It would seem that somewhere there must be some overhead. So yeah, of the $4,600 a year they were spending back then, 4,000 of it went into just government cost.
Yeah.
So again, we look at private sector, public sector. Who's more efficient? Private, all the time.
Always.
But yet, they're not the ones we trust. We trust the ones that take our money and waste it.
Yeah, not sure why.
I don't know either. It doesn't make sense. Yes, you can have corruption in business. You can have corruption in anything. Yep. There's corruption in podcasting. We're not among them. But it happens. There's people that get on their podcasts and just lie and tell falsehoods and everything else all the time. I'm not calling out anybody specific, but it's true. If you go looking, you'll find people that just get on there and they're just nut jobs who say stuff that's just completely false.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. So you can't go, well, this one CEO, he was a bad dude, so the private sector is horrible. No, there's actually many more examples in the public sector if you go looking for it.
Yeah.
But for some reason we trust them. Whatever. All right, we just thought we would clarify Reagan's point with accurate data.
Yep.
Thank you, producer wife.
You're welcome.
This is why you're the producer wife.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, so one of my gifts that I got for my birthday, and I'm going to debut him right now, we're going to call him Cappy. Cappy. He's a happy Cappy. Mm-hmm. He's got a smile on his face. So he is a Coca-Cola bottle cap Funko, for those of you who are not visually gifted. We're showing him right now on camera. He's a cute little thing with 2 beady eyes and a smile and some sneakers. And he's holding his own death in his hand.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he freed himself, and that's why he's able to walk around in sneakers, though.
Is that the case, or is he holding his own death? He's holding a bottle opener, which, would, bend him up. It'd break him.
Potentially. You can take a cap off a bottle without bending it up.
That's rare, though. 3/4 of the time you're going to bend that cap. So I would think that this poor guy, he's taking a chance. He must really want his freedom.
Or maybe he's on a mission to go free a bunch of other people.
Or he's a murderer. And this is his weapon of death that he's holding in his left hand. Either way, we love him. So, I'm going to put him back on the shelf here. You can stand in front of the dumpster fire. Oh, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed, if you look at the dumpster fire where we just set Cappy, the Emperor is sitting in the dumpster fire today because he ate too much candy.
Yeah.
And he keeps puking, and he was getting the shelf messy. So we put him in the dumpster. He can puke in the dumpster. And I'm sure he'll try to force lightning me later for it.
Probably.
but we'll deal with that when the time comes. Okay, so speaking of Coca-Cola
Yeah.
and Cappy, we found an interesting article from Coca-Cola that we will share with you, fine listeners. Visually gifted, of course, you, as always, can play along. This from Fox Business. Oh, man. At the top of this article, there is this woman who's doing some kind of yoga or exercises or something, but she's got herself pretzeled up, and her head is... Oh, thank God, the picture just changed.
Okay.
Her head was, like, almost all the way into her crotch. She was so pretzeled up.
Nice.
I'm like, this isn't appropriate. But now there's some picture of a hand, and I don't think that's any more appropriate because that hand is ugly. Well, whatever. Scrolling on.
That's okay. I'm sure you'll have 18 pop-ups because it's Fox.
Yeah, I'm waiting for this video to launch. Anyways, Coca-Cola buys remaining body armor stake for $5.6 billion. Coke acquired a 15% stake in the sports drink company back in 2018. So Coke owns like everything, but they've also like shut down everything. During the pandemic there, well, we're still in the pandemic depending on who you talk to, but they shut down, is there a list? Yeah. They shut down Tab, Coconut Water, Adwala, Coca-Cola Life, certain Diet Coke flavors, Sprite Lemonade went away, and the short-lived, as they call it, Coca-Cola Energy, which makes me sad because I actually liked that one.
Yeah. That was
I have
good.
a closet full of it, but I can only drink like one every once in a while because it busts my kidneys. But it was good.
The Coke coffee drinks were good too.
Oh, those are still going.
No, but I know. I'm
They
just
kept
saying
those.
they're delicious.
They are. And nutritious.
No.
No?
No. But they're good.
You sure they're not nutritious?
I'm positive because
Oh,
it tastes
okay.
too good.
So this maybe is why they're trying to do the body armor thing. But I don't know if that's nutritious either.
No, it's probably
Chemically.
It's probably got all sorts of added BS.
All right. Well, let's see what the article has to say. They've acquired full control of body armor for $5.6 billion in cash. This was announced yesterday. The soda giant would be purchasing the remaining 85%. It's their largest brand acquisition to date. They value body armor at approximately $8 billion, and they're getting the rest for $5.6. Okay. Under the agreement, body armor will be managed as a separate business within Coca-Cola and will continue to be based in Queens. It will continue to be distributed by Coke. The estate of the late Kobe Bryant, who was the third largest shareholder in 2013, is getting $400 million. So apparently they're no longer the third largest stakeholder, would be my guess.
Yeah.
Because that's not a whole lot considering what they're paying for it. Let's see. Body Armor president Brett Hasty has committed to help execute the brand's growth plans for 2022 and continue to work on its vision and strategy for 23. In addition, Ripoli, another dude who previously founded Vitamin Water and Smart Water parent Glaxo, also owned by Coke, will collaborate with the company on its beverage portfolio. This is interesting. Body Armor is the second largest player in the sports drink category behind Gatorade.
Wow. So I'm looking at nutritional facts, and it totally depends on which ones you're looking at, because there's some Body Armor Light that barely have any sugar, and then there's some other ones that are like mid-range. And then I'm looking at the nutritional facts for the 16-ounce Tropical Punch, and that one has 28 grams of sugar and includes 26 added grams of sugar, which is 52% of what you should take in a day. I wouldn't call that good for you.
Probably not. Although
There's less sugar in Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Although the quote-unquote settled science is always changing, so give it a few weeks and sugar will be like everything you should ever have.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to tell us not to eat eggs, and I can eat eggs.
For a while, you weren't supposed to have coffee at all.
No, now everything's coffee. But that's probably because Starbucks paid for everything to be coffee.
And you weren't supposed to have wine, and now there's reports that if you drink like a glass of wine a day, it actually helps your heart.
Yeah. I don't know. What's interesting to me, I mean, yeah, we can debate the health of all this stuff all day long, but what's interesting to me, and it's because I think we keep debating the health of this stuff, is how Coke And Pepsi and all these soft drink makers are like running from what they are. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
That's interesting to me because Gatorade is actually owned by Pepsi. Pepsi acquired them to kind of strengthen their brand.
Coke owns Powerade.
Coke owns Powerade, but I thought Powerade was number 2. I had no idea it was Body Armor.
I didn't either.
We've had Body Armor before. It's
That's okay.
Yeah, it's nothing special.
I would rather have Gatorade.
I would too, which is why we have Gatorade in powder form in our cupboard.
Yeah.
And we can mix it that way and not have all the sugar and everything.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting to me though that they keep running from what they are.
They want to capture the fads. That's what it is, because individual bottles and stuff are purchased a ton. That's why if you, like 5 years ago, this wasn't the case, but if you walk into the grocery store now, next to all of the 12 packs and everything, there's like huge cases of individual bottles of things.
Yeah.
Where it used to just be the little tiny cases when you were checking out, but now there's like a whole aisle of individual bottles. It's because it's a fad.
No, it is. I guess
and they want that market.
I guess my concern is that if you take your eye too much, I get the idea of diversifying and having new products and stuff like that. But if you take your eye too much off of what you really are, that can end up destroying a business in time. We've witnessed that ourselves with a company that we used to work for. They started to get themselves into so many different things and so many different arenas that they lost sight of the core of what they were. And eventually it was the death of them. Because when the core started to rot, they had to sell off all the other pieces to try to fix the core. But at that point it was so rotten it was too late. And there was nothing they could do about it. So I wonder with some of these bigger companies like Coke and Pepsi and stuff, as they're putting so much effort and emphasis into these alternative products, rather than just trying to find better ways to sell what they have, perhaps. I wonder what it'll do in the long run.
I was sitting here on a little bit of a train wreck, which is what I call what goes on in my brain. And I was thinking about the fact that speaking of fads, I wonder how long it'll take for something like Coke to jump on the hard seltzer train. And then I was like, oh, well, Coke hasn't done it, but Mountain Dew hard seltzer is actually on the way. It's just not out yet. But
I didn't know that. Or if we talked about it, I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure when it's coming out. I can look it up. But there's it's supposed to be released as like a 12-pack with like 4 different flavors.
Code Red and rum can be yummy. Interesting. And there's already hard Coke. It's called a Jack and Coke. You can get it at any bar.
That's true.
It's the best hard Coke ever. Interesting.
Let's see. It's going to have a regular Mountain Dew flavor, a black cherry flavor, a watermelon flavor. They're all going to be 0 sugar with natural and artificial flavors. Obviously malt beverage. It's going to hit the shelves in early 2022.
So it's going to taste like a seltzer.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those hard seltzers.
Which so far we haven't been impressed with when we've tried it.
No.
Oh, that's going to be disappointing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Something tells me that won't last. Because they're late to the party, too, because the seltzer stuff, we found this out with that Boston Brewing.
Yep.
And all the seltzer, we talked about this a couple episodes ago, all the seltzer that they they chose to throw away because they overproduced, because it was a fad that quickly died. So I wonder if this will actually happen. I wonder if they're smart enough to pull the plug on it before.
They're actually partnering with that company, Boston Beer, to make this seltzer.
Well, that's hilarious. That makes no sense at all. These are the people who just wasted millions of cans of this stuff.
Yep. Truly is what they threw away.
Yeah, truly, that's what
yeah.
it was. Yeah, Pepsi and Sam Adams' parent Boston Beer oh, man. That's asinine. All right. We'll see. But, you know, they're late to the party and they're partnering with somebody who just admitted that their sales aren't what they thought they were going to be. But isn't this what I was just saying about taking your eye off the ball?
Yeah.
This is eye very much off the ball. You have more to say.
No, I thought I saw something as I was looking for something else, and it wasn't. I thought that somebody actually made somebody probably has in their basement, but made like a moonshine Mountain Dew. And I was going to say that actually would be brilliant, but...
Yeah, I think that'd probably sell better, but... Okay. So, anywho, the reason why I brought this article up, if you haven't already figured it out, is I question the sanity of getting so far down these rabbit holes of alternative products and everything else that you lose sight of what your core is. And I don't think that's good business practice, in my opinion. And I think it's a little bit backed up by this interesting choice that we now discover mid-segment here that Pepsi is making, by coming up with a seltzer and partnering with people who just said seltzer sucks and we destroyed millions of cans of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you're a small business like us, make better decisions than that. Focus on your core, what it is that you do best, and market it well, and you'll come out a winner. I'm not sure these things help people come out a winner. Just my opinion. Okay, you want to shift gears and talk about something else?
Sure.
Double else?
Double else.
All right. We're going to take a break, and then we'll talk about double else. Be right back.
You better watch where you walk, these are dangerous ground. At least that's the talk around town. And it's about to go down. Everybody out here trying to wear the crown. It's a couple got a chance, but most of them clowns. And they try to give me dap and pound. I wish they all would drown. Quit and stop making a sound. The game is saturated bad by the overrated. Real get denied, not even appreciated. These ain't dance steps, and I ain't trying to.
Welcome back. Segment 3 now of the Soule of Wisdom. Nice to have you with us today.
Yeah.
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 Yeah?
Yeah.
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 Hey. Okay. I don't know what the hell that was all about. Whatever. We just make this stuff up as we go. Semi-professional podcast. That is our goal here.
Yes.
But since we're semi-professional, please do us a favor before you exit today's show, and be sure to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, leave us a review if you're on a podcast provider that allows for such things, all that stuff. These things really do help small podcasts like us get out there and get seen. The more people do those things, the more the algorithms go, they must have something going on here.
Yep.
So help the world find us so we can change the world. One plea to Elon Musk at a time.
Yep.
Okie dokie. So, we were going to talk about food because we're a business food podcast.
Well, we kind of just did with Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Oh.
But we're going to keep it going.
Yeah. So we already had something planned for segment 3, and we've altered the plan slightly because that's what we do.
Yeah.
We talk during our breaks, and then we come up with different material and whatnot as we're talking. Because as the producer wife described in the last segment, her brain never stops moving.
Yes.
So she went and found some more material. But do you recall in the last segment how I was talking about, in my personal opinion, a business should concentrate on their core and focus on what it is that made them what they are? That doesn't mean they can't go and do other things, but make the thing that you are the best that it can be, market it the best you possibly can, reach all the people that you can, because in the end, that's what you were based upon.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. Well, that is certainly one way to look at it, unless you are Burger King. We're going to talk more about Burger King in a second, but this was one of the things that we found during the break. Burger King opens its first 100% veggie restaurant. This from totallyveganbuzz.com. That URL looks crazy with the Y and the V and the 2 L's and the... It just looks jumbled. It looks like jumbled letters if you just glance at it. Oh, whatever. Mm-hmm. Anyways, the move is an attempt to reach out to people who base their diet on vegetable products and those who do eat meat but who reduce their consumption. This is going on in Madrid. Their menu includes a plant-based Whopper, vegan chicken nuggets. There's no such thing as vegan chicken. Drop it already. It doesn't exist. You can't have a vegan animal. You can't have a plant-based animal.
No.
It's an animal-based animal. People. And a new plant-based option called the Long Vegetal?
Yes.
Featuring meat from the vegetarian butcher. My father, if he were not cremated, would be rolling over in his grave right now as a meat cutter, as his chosen profession, to hear the phrase uttered, the vegetarian butcher.
Yes.
I will roll over for him tonight when I am sleeping. Good Lord God. The newest edition is inspired by one of the brand's best-selling item, Long Chicken, and is made up of bread, lettuce, mayonnaise, and the chicken substitute made of soy and wheat. Non-vegan mayonnaise can be omitted for a fully vegan option.
Which is only interesting, that part to me, because they actually do make vegan mayonnaise. I've seen it before. It exists. It's at Whole Foods.
I can't read any more of this article because it disgusts me. So, if you are left coast based as we are, you are familiar with In-N-Out Burger. And you're only familiar if you're left coast based because they flat said they will not go east of the Mississippi. They are privately owned, they are not publicly traded, and the owner has said, no, we won't do it. Although that may change because Florida is begging and pleading with them right now to come join them.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll change. I don't know. Anywho, In-N-Out is a machine. You go there, and it can be a half an hour wait just in the drive-thru to get to the speaker sometimes because they do such a crazy thing. But what do they sell, Beth?
Burgers, fries, shakes.
They sell anything else?
Different varieties of the burgers, fries, and shakes. I mean, you can get different toppings on it.
They have lemonade.
Yeah.
That's about it. Oh, and you can buy a t-shirt from them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think like a baseball hat.
Yeah, they have some merch.
Yeah.
But it's...
But they don't have chicken.
No, they don't have chicken. But then you go to like a... more people will know this, like the Chick-fil-A or the Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's is a great example. All they do, chicken tenders. That's it. They have a sandwich. It's 2 chicken tenders on it.
Yeah.
That is all they sell. They know what they are. They focus on what they are. And they do it to perfection. Have you been to a Burger King lately, Buffy?
No.
No.
Because the last couple times we had it, it was really, really
It was
bad.
horrifying.
Yeah.
But there's no... them and McDonald's, they're jumping around trying to figure out what they want to try to be next rather than just focusing on what they actually are. So when I was in college, my college was in this very small rural community. And they opened a McDonald's there. But it was in like this little shack of a building, and all they had was a drive-thru. And they did a neat thing. They went back to what McDonald's was founded on and supposed to be. They had a very limited menu that was based around burgers and fries. Their pricing was actually lowered. You could actually get a burger, and date myself a little bit, this was okay, about 3 decades ago, but even still.
Mm-hmm.
They had burgers and fries for 50 cents, which even back in those days was ridiculously cheap. And they sold a ton of them, and they made a ton of money, and they were really good. It was the one time when I actually enjoyed going to McDonald's because the stuff was always fresh because their menu was simple. So they were always making it, always churning it, right? And it was priced well, and they were just focused on what they were originally founded on, to the point where they were actually doing the act, and they had on the old paper hats and stuff that they used to wear. It was part of the thing. And that lasted 5 years until they got bought out by a bigger McDonald's conglomerate that blew the whole thing up and put a regular restaurant in there that just doesn't, it's not the same.
Yeah.
But my point is again, they're focusing on the core, what it is they're supposed to be, and they do well. So I don't understand this concept of Burger King doing an all-vegan restaurant.
I don't understand Arby's doing fish.
No. Arby's, they have the meats. They don't catch the fish.
But they have the fish now.
I know. It's stupid. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I guess I could get the idea of them saying, okay, we'll try this, like, one non-meat option and see how it does. But to base a whole restaurant around it? Again, that to me is just taking your eye off the prize.
I actually read an article about Chick-fil-A considering doing burgers, and I was like, oh, please don't.
Chick-fil-A, don't do it. You're not a burger joint.
Yeah.
You are affectionately referred to by much of America as God's chicken. Just stick with that.
Yeah.
Don't. Just don't. I don't know what else to say, but don't.
I agree.
Okay. So on that note, since we're beating on Burger King anyways, let's pull up this other... This is what we were going to talk about with
And this
Burger
isn't
King.
really beating on them. This is just...
No, it's not. It's not beating on them.
It's bizarre.
It's weird.
It might work for them.
No, it won't. And I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay.
All right. So Burger King is going to offer you crypto now. When you buy...
You can't pay for your meal with crypto.
No, they're going to give you crypto. They need you to buy their food so bad that they're going to pay you in crypto to do it. If you are a member of their Royal Perks loyalty program and you spend $5 on the restaurant's app. This article, by the way, from Fortune, where I'm pulling some of this information from. Most people, not surprisingly, will receive Doge, but they're also going to give out Ether and Bitcoin. Apparently, Burger King has acquired 2 million Dogecoin, 200 Ether, and 20 Bitcoin, and they're going to give those out at random to people who spend within the app. But here's the thing. They partnered with Robinhood. This is why this is a mess for me. But we'll get to that in just a second. So you have to open a Robinhood account to redeem your prize. The promotion begins today, which this article was, the 1st, so yesterday. So it began yesterday. And runs through November 21st or until they run out of crypto. Well, they might end up using crypto to pay for some of their stuff. Who knows? The chain, though, declined to say whether they would accept crypto as a payment in the future. This is not the first time Burger King has dipped its toes into crypto waters. This I did not know. In 2017, they launched their own cryptocurrency called Whopper Coin.
I did not know that.
Nope. It was available in Russia. It is still technically tradable, but it's been forgotten, and according to the article, there's been no recent sales of Whopper Coin. Whopper Coin.
Okay.
I mean, whatever. We've got, dog coins and alternate dog coins and... Yeah, I don't know. Keep waiting for a rabbit coin, because we have rabbits. Need a rabbit coin.
Yeah.
Maybe we could start one. Anybody can start a cryptocurrency. All you need is a computer and a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I said why this wasn't going to work. I said I was going to explain that. And the problem is they're partnering with Robinhood.
Who hasn't done well in the media's eyes lately.
Well, it's not even that.
Oh, okay.
This isn't even dogging on Robinhood as much as it's how Robinhood set up for crypto at this time. Okay? Robinhood is only just starting to test a real quote-unquote crypto wallet. Now, for you, dear listener, if you're not familiar with cryptocurrency, basically it's digital money, but you have a key that says this amount of money is yours. And you're supposed to be able to take that key and you can store it places. You could do something as simple as write it down on a piece of paper. You can put it in what's called a crypto wallet. You can store it in an exchange like Coinbase, for example, or Binance.us, places like that. There's a lot of ways that you can hold that key.
Yeah.
Robinhood, as it stands right now, does not have a wallet. So you cannot hold the key to your cryptocurrency. They do. So if you quote unquote own cryptocurrency on the exchange, you have no way of actually taking it home with you, so to speak.
And if they get hacked,
Yeah.
you're SOL.
Yeah. Undoubtedly there's some insurance there, but regardless of that, they hold all the keys. And there's even been speculation that I've read. I'm not making any accusations here. I'm just going off of what I've read, that they don't even necessarily hold all of the currency that they're trying to trade at any given time. So you can't cash out. That's the bottom line. You can't pull your crypto out. You can sell it on their exchange for cash, but you can't physically own it, so to speak, as much as you can physically own a digital currency.
Yeah.
But we have crypto. We own the keys to it. With them, you don't. So that's the first problem. At least until they get their wallet straightened out, and they're only starting to test it now with select users. It's in a beta.
Gotcha.
So, this thing could be 6 months to a year away from being mainstream. The other problem is that it's crypto. How many people honestly, truly understand what crypto is and how it really works?
Not very many.
No. I got approached by a family member a couple of weeks ago. She messaged me and she's like, hey, a friend of mine's just starting to get into crypto. I don't know much about it. Can you tell me about it? I'm like, no. It'd take me forever. So I gave her some ideas of places to go to learn. It's complicated stuff. Now, is your average person who's going to be going through the drive-through of a Burger King looking for a Whopper going to even understand what this is, other than they've seen it in the paper going, ooh, Dogecoin, that makes money? But will they know what to do with it, or even how to...
But isn't that why the pairing with Robinhood works? Because the people aren't going to know that they don't own the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. So is it really going to matter to them?
Yeah, I guess probably not. I guess I don't like it because it's with Robinhood. If I own a digital currency, I want to own it. I want my keys.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree with you. I'm just saying, because the average user doesn't really understand it, they're not going to understand why this might not be a perfect setup.
Well, you know what they're going to do? They're going to go and they're going to sell it.
Sell it, yeah.
Yeah. Which is about the dumbest thing you can do with a cryptocurrency, in my opinion. I'm not an expert. I'm just some dude with a podcast. So don't take my advice. But in my opinion, what I do is, if I've got cryptocurrency, I'm not selling it.
No.
Hold on to that stuff forever. Or at least until I'm ready to sell it, which isn't going to be forever. It's going to be a long time. I don't know. It's an interesting promotion from the standpoint of, I don't know what it has to do with buying a Whopper, other than, ooh, it's a dog-e coin. Yay. Oh, Bitcoin's valuable. Maybe I'll win one of those.
Well,
but again, the person who wins it, they're not going to know what to do. And I bet you half of them don't even cash it in. Because they're going to get the Doge, which as of today, I think is trading at like 27 cents a Doge. So, they're not going to go open up the Robinhood account to even cash the thing in.
No.
So from that standpoint,
it's
I guess...
like walking past a quarter in a parking lot.
Yeah, from that standpoint, I guess Robinhood and Burger King will make out, because they won't pay out on that. So...
But you were asking what the two have to do with each other. What exactly does Monopoly have to do with McDonald's? Except it's been going on for so long that people associate the two together. But in reality, the two have nothing in common.
Well, it's the only reason to go to McDonald's anymore, is so you can play Monopoly. But even that game's gotten worse, at least for like Albertsons. So we had, on the left coast here, we have Albertsons as a grocery store. They do Monopoly too, and this last iteration of Monopoly was just worthless.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
You couldn't win anything. But,
And
with the pandemic, they had nothing left on the shelves to give away.
I was going to say, and all the freebie stuff was always picked over. So even if you got, like, here's a free loaf of bread, the bread that you could redeem it for was always out of stock.
Gone.
So
yeah, for like those 2 months, they never had aspirin on the shelf either, because that was one of the freebies.
I know.
So if you actually had a legit headache and needed an aspirin, you couldn't go to Albertsons to get it.
No,
wasn't going to work. I don't know. I guess I get some of these things that they do with the promotions and whatnot, but in the same respect, to me, there's a lot of reaching going on to try and get to people, rather than just be like, this is what we are, this is the quality of our product, come and get it, like an In-N-Out burger does, for example. And I have never, undoubtedly it's happened for some reason, but I have never run across an In-N-Out burger that's eventually closed down. Can
No.
you think of one?
No.
Even in neighborhoods that have gotten more marginal over the time, they keep churning. They keep going.
Yep.
Because they put out this outstanding product, and it's all they do, and they don't hype it in weird ways. That's the other thing. In-N-Out does not do promotions.
Nope.
They don't do giveaways. They don't mess around. It's a burger. We do it good. Come get it. And that's it.
They have secret menu items.
They do. That's about it.
Yep.
But I don't know. We'll see how it goes with Burger King. I'm sure they'll have a follow-up article at some point. We'll see how many people actually cash in their crypto.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's not going to be a lot, and I'm guessing the quality of the burgers are not going to improve because they had a cryptocurrency promotion.
No. No way.
Bold prediction. Okie dokie, on that note, I think we can be done for today. It was a pleasure speaking with you. It is always a pleasure speaking with you. Producer-Wife, it was a pleasure having you with me again.
Yay.
This is like our private time right here.
Yes, it is.
When we close the door of the studio, it's the one time where we get to be alone with each other.
Yes.
Now we're going to go back out into the mayhem. All right, you folks take care. Again, visit us online, soulwisdom.com. Questions at Soul Wisdom if you'd like to tell us how we did today, and send us an email with said. Or you can tweet us at Soul Wisdom. Or go to our new Facebook page, which is also Soul Wisdom.
Yep.
That is all. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.